Yo, this is Jake. They call me Dr. Flock.
Views.
What's up? It's John.
Views.
And it's real life doing this, bitch.
Views. You are now listening to the Views from the Che podcast.
When McKay was visiting Cassie, when Cassie was visiting McKay at school, and all the frat boys like came in and pinned him down.
Yeah.
So you're getting kind of far into it, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm getting close to being done. I watched that episode a couple ago. That was kind of crazy, right? Like, were they supposed to be like fucking him in the ass, or like were they just like pretending to be doing that?
No, it wasn't pretend, but that is a wild like John, right?
Yeah, it wasn't pretend, or it was.
It was pretend.
It was pretend.
Yeah, it was pretend.
Because that shit was insane. Like, if somebody does that to me, I'm not even like a violent person, but everybody has to die, right? Like everybody's dead.
I can't imagine getting violated like that at all in the first place, but I really can't imagine getting violated like that in front of my girl.
Crazy.
That shit
And
wasn't
then
funny.
What'd you say?
I said, nah, that shit wasn't funny.
Nah, that shit was kind of awkward to think about. I mean, that's probably happened. That's probably happened in like real frat hazing shit.
That's the shit that's irritating to me. It's like I know a few people in frats, but they won't fucking say anything about the hazing. I'm like, dog, what the fuck be going on? And they never say anything, dog. They never tell. So I don't know what the
if
fuck.
they ain't telling, there might be some violation going on.
That's what I'm saying. If they're not telling some shit like that, why is it so secret? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are they doing to make sure you're not telling?
Yeah, they must have something on you. Must have some type of fear. Because then what he turned around and did to Cassie after that? Like, basically came out and was like, yo, so we're not having sex anymore. And then, like, he basically kind of raped her in a way. Like,
that's what they made it seem like.
Yeah.
That was rapey.
Second time he raped.
Yeah.
That motherfucker be raping. He's a little guy, too.
Like, stature or?
I haven't seen his dick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his dick. That is interesting. Now, that's a wild joint. I was just having this conversation with some other friends, because that kind of reminds me. Do you think, like, girls, or, like, do you think guys are just as insecure as girls? Because they were like, no, not a shot.
I would assume so.
That's what I see. That's what I was saying.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I don't think insecurity is gender specific. Maybe just like different types of insecurities, or like not as honest with yourself about the insecurities.
See, that was my question. I said, do you think guys are just as insecure as girls, but less vocal about it? And they were like, no, because girls have been like kind of like trained to like be super insecure about shit. And I'm like, well, like I think there's mad shit guys are insecure about. Like that's why you have a little man complex with a lot of people. That's why like motherfuckers be fake flexing with money because there's a financial insecurity with it. Like it's mad different insecurities. That's why this fucking hair plug hair regrowth market is $1 billion empire. Like there's so many different insecurities with guys too. They just not like, oh, I'm fat. Like don't look at me. Like not like downplaying girls' insecurities because they have some wild shit, and I'm sure it's like a wild standard to live up to be like that, the arm candy or the prize when you think you have to be. But I would feel like guys are just as insecure.
Yeah, like have you ever been to a bar and there's always those dudes that every time they get a little drunk they want to fight everybody because like you do something like they feel like you looked at them wrong, or like you looked at their girl and now they want to like their insecurities just show up magically. Everybody's fighting at the bar. It's like
I've been that guy.
You've been there a few times.
I've fucking been that guy, dog. Have you ever been to a bar? Go, I hate my life. I'm gonna rumble you guys. No.
So you get a heart imprint.
See, that's that Joe Budden shit we be talking about, dog. That's that motherfucking Joe Budden shit, dog. Motherfucking Rory Mal was talking about, dog. The off-air shit he made jokes about on air, not for the fans.
True, my bad. We can delete it. We can edit it.
No, that's good, dog. That's good. Just can't deep dive on that. Or we can. A dude punched me in the face with a heart ring, and I left a heart imprint on my fucking face.
It's funny.
I heard that one.
No, I'm sure you have, bro. I can't really deep dive on it too much, because the situation leading up to it is kind of nuts. But yeah, I got into a tussle, and a fella landed a good one on me, and he had a heart ring on, and yeah, that shit. I woke up with a little heart-shaped bruise the next day, dog, right under my eye. I've been punched in the face a lot of times now that I think about it, dog. It never hurts unless you get hit dead in the nose, and that shit is like, that is the joint where you like, yeah, damn, that sucks. You guys don't know what I'm talking about?
I've never been punched in the nose. I'm not gonna lie, so I don't know how it feels. And I also think that makes me feel like I'd be a bad fighter because I've never had that. Like, I feel like you need to get that out of the way.
It's really like discombobulating, like, because when you get punched right in the nose, like, it kind of like disorients you, like you don't really like know what's going on, and your eyes water instantly. So like you're a little blurred, and then if they punch you hard enough or you get hit hard enough, your shit breaks. And if it breaks, then you got two black eyes, which I didn't know until I got my shit broke. So.
I don't think I'd be a good fighter.
Early in the pod.
Stories from Dill. Because if you ever get your shit like broken, you literally will have hard bruises under both eyes, dog, and that's how you can tell it's broke. Unless it's like fucked up. Which obviously, not that whatever. Shit happens. You get punched in the face sometimes, whatever. Dog.
You ever been punched in the face, John?
I have not been punched in the face as an adult. No.
Not as an adult. As a kid.
Yeah, like when you're a kid, you fight, but as an adult, hell no.
Yeah, I guess I'm just fucking pussy over here. I'll fight.
I'm not saying I haven't been punched in the face because I'm tough or like because nobody wants to fight me. I just haven't been in that scenario. Yeah. I don't think I would fight. I don't think I'm a fight first type of person. I think I might get angry first, but I don't go to fighting quickly.
Fight or flight.
I mean, this is probably a hot take, I guess, but in the right situation, I'm flight. Like, I'm gonna get out of there and not get in
everybody in the right situation is for sure.
I think I'm flight in every situation at this point in my life. There's not it would have to be a very weird situation for me to get into a physical altercation at this point in my life.
Yeah, like I don't want to fight you. I don't want to be in a fight.
Yeah, you got it, bro. I'm pussy. Like, yeah. You showed me.
Yeah.
I've had it. But only thing it would be like if I was out with a friend and like they was trying to bully my friend or disrespect them, then I will probably I'll be more likely to rumble off that. It's like, yeah, I already know there's not too many situations where you can make me feel bad or uncomfortable because I'm pretty comfortable in most situations from previous experience and shit. But I'm if you're making my friends uncomfortable and you trying to impose as a threat, it's like, dog, we can rumble. It's not shit. And whatever comes with it comes with it. But yeah, if me individually, I can't imagine myself having to get into a fight off some shit that involves me.
Are you fighting this other person after your friend says, "Yeah, we've got to fight that person," or starts the fight? Or are you going in first and saying we can do this?
I don't know, bro. I always kind of went with the we might as well start the shit, get it over with before they start the shit and get it over with. Because it only take one good one for real. Motherfucker hit you with some brass knuckles or a clean shit to the temple, or straight to the nose. Now you just combobulated and shit. I don't know, bro. It's not over. Realistically though, it is a lot of strategy to fighting, but you're not ever really going to be in a situation to fight to where you have enough time to think about the strategy unless you're fucking Steven Seagal or some shit. You're just fucking already pre-existing that mindset. I'm going to take him down and him down.
That's some movie shit.
Yeah, I guess I'm not that good of a fighter. I'm probably a little bit above average, if anything.
Yeah, again, I'm not speaking from experience, but from watching movies and seeing other people fight, it's never like the movies where people fight for 15 minutes. There's lots of punches. It's 30 seconds maybe, and that shit seems to be at least the ones I've seen, which isn't a lot, but it seems to be quicker.
I think longest fight I ever been in was probably 3 to 5 minutes, and it was a big ass group fight for probably a 20-on-20 But like anything less than like, because most fights I've been in been like group fights for real, like a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3 or some shit, some like outsider shit. But most fights really only last like a minute or two. And you be tired as shit. But like you got your adrenaline running, but you be sore as a motherfucker after a fight too, especially if they punched on you. That shit hurts.
Which is crazy because they say like all these muscles get activated that you're not normally using, and like your adrenaline starts rushing and kicks your body into a different mode.
I remember one John I was fighting in. It was like a 5-on-5. And I was just rumbling one guy, and this other guy came through, and he super kicked the fuck out of my ribs. And I didn't even like at the time, like I didn't feel it. Like I was like, I got in the car, I was like, yeah, that was crazy, blah blah. Like the next day, dog, I was so fucking sore, dog, like so sore. I was like, yo, I think my shit might be cracked, dude. Like that shit's crazy. Oh, good fights, oh, good times, good memories.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad time.
What's that, dog? You know, all the bad times make for the best memories. So bad times make for great stories. Nobody wants to hear about a good time.
You like good times. I like good times over here.
JJ. JJ's the one that said dynamite, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you guys one of those dudes that asked girls for hugs in high school?
No.
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 Nah.
That whole situation is cracking me up.
I was just thinking the other day, I was at the movies with one friend in high school, and then we had another friend with us that was a lady, and in high school, and it was just so like, yeah, being in high school is man stupid.
High school is dumb. You dumb at that age.
It's mad stupid, dog. Like I was just thinking like what a nasty setup it was. Like it was in the movies, and like if the John was like laid out like on one of us, and then the legs on the other one, just watching the movies and shit. I was just thinking about that shit the other day. I was like, what a fucking like corny setup for like fucking like what the fuck were we doing in high school? Yeah, like, just mad stupid, yo. Like, I was really thinking about that shit. Like, yeah, because like my man's had a mom car or something like that. It picked me up out 40, went to the John, it's two of us and a girl. Like, what the fuck is this? Literally like. I think my man's like massaging her back and I'm like massaging her legs and we just watching fucking, I think it was Hangover. But we was having such a ball that we snuck into another movie right after. We're going to keep this party going. We're going to keep this fucking massage party going.
Fucking making out. Y'all was having to give massages.
You think she was getting off a power trip at the same time? Like, yeah.
Oh, she definitely was.
Yeah, I got him wrapped around my fucking hands for sure, dog.
Before you said that it was you massaging the legs, I was gonna ask like, who was kind of on the more like simp level with the legs? Like,
it was for sure me. It was for sure me. It was for sure me. And at that time in life, it didn't matter, dog. I was in there.
Getting the feel.
Didn't even matter. She was a baddie in our school too, so it was a win for everybody involved.
Feeling those shins up and down.
Bitch had great calves. Yeah, the bitch had great calves. Still does too. Shout out to her.
Rubbing that Achilles tendon down.
Bitch is still built. Oh yeah, shit out.
That's funny.
A hard day of practice. She needed a good rub down.
That's funny. That's actually hilarious.
Like I just be thinking about the most random shit sometimes. I really be geeking like, yeah, my life's been so fucking like funny and like stupid and eventful. There's just so many like fucking memories. And then I'd be thinking like I wonder like, cause like I don't know about you guys, but like I like really fuck with like my life. You feel me? Like I really fuck with like all my experiences and shit. And I'd be wondering like I don't like this. Does everybody feel like they've lived like a book worthy life, like an eventful life, like?
For sure, I think so. And right? I can't even think about all the shit that I don't remember. Like I get mad when somebody remind me of something that I have completely forgot about. Like, dog, why hasn't this memory stuck with me? And then you laugh about it for about 3 days. Like, damn, dog, I feel like I done lived like 2 lives already, yo.
Just mad, stupid shit, dog. Like so much dumb shit. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I feel the same way. That's what I try to think of before the pod, like, okay, what would be some dumb shit that I've done or been through that I feel like would get a few laughs? Because there's always something, and it keeps surprising me. Like, oh shit, I forgot about this thing, and I forgot about this thing. Like, trying to share one every week. It's crazy that they're still going.
What is what would your movie be rated, bro?
My movie be rated?
Yeah.
It would have to be rated R, but
All right.
not probably just for like sexual content. Knowing me, that would be the why it would be rated R.
All 3 scenes.
All 3 scenes. Yeah.
The funny shit I always think about when it talk about a movie of your life is like, what's the intro song? Like when they just showing your fucking junky ass bedroom as a child. Like, what is the song playing as they going through your house and shit? Like,
hey, now you're an all-star. Get together.
You in there dancing and shit.
Yeah, just going crazy, jumping on the bed. Jumping on the bed. Nah, you know what's funny now I think about it? There when I was young, I used to try and hit the Backstreet Boy NSYNC dance routines.
I need that video.
Yeah, my movie started off like that. I'd be mad hot, dog. I used to try and go crazy to them stuff. I was a huge NSYNC and Backstreet Boy. I was like a Backstreet diehard too. Like I wouldn't even listen to NSYNC for a while because I thought they was biting. But yeah, but now we know JT's the GOAT. So
come on now, stop.
Yeah, y'all was really in that convo too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a convo to be had.
I mean, mind you, he picked Chris. If it was up to me, I would pick Usher, but Chris would still watch JT.
You think Usher would watch Chris?
Usher would watch probably everybody except Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. R&B or singing R&B wise, yeah. But
I feel like the thing that got JT though is just he's transcended. He can do a lot of different genres.
Yeah, I don't know, like if you guys want to have this debate. I mean, I got a lot of shit to talk about today, but if you wanted me to tell you how this would happen real quick.
I mean, yeah, you could go to your playlist and pull up all the songs. We know you don't have them off top. We see you over there scrambling to get to the songs. That's all good. You over there scrambling to get the songs and shit.
I already know what's
just
going on.
naming songs isn't going to sell it, you know.
You know what's crazy though? I honestly forgot because I just got home right before we hopped on here, but I was gonna set my speakers up and start the shit off with the Can't Stop the Feeling song. I completely forgot it. I'm really kicking myself now because, I mean, what can you top that has 1.5 billion views? Anything? Is there anything?
Like, nobody's listening to views. I just want you to know that. Nobody ever has listened to a view. Vlog, have you ever listened to a view?
I would hope so. This is views from the chair, dog. The fuck you mean?
We don't listen to a view count on a YouTube video.
What matters if views don't matter?
Yeah.
I mean, the song.
So
you tell me the highest rated view count song is the best song?
Well, I think that it changes it from being subjective to objective.
Could you imagine if YouTube was out when Chris Brown first came out? How his YouTube views would be?
Or what about Justin Timberlake?
I'm saying both of them. It would be ridiculous.
YouTube was around when NSYNC was out. That shit would be insane.
Yeah, come on, bro. Most of JT's songs don't even have the views they should. Like his biggest hits don't even have the views they should because YouTube wasn't out when fucking Cry Me a River or Senorita or fucking.
YouTube wasn't out at the beginning of Chris' career either.
Chris caught it more than Justin.
Man, nah, YouTube ain't even really pop to like 20.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is 1.5 billion.
That doesn't say nothing to me. Probably a song I've never heard in my life.
But if you're gonna just make the argument that you like the songs more, what the fuck are we talking about here?
That's what matters. Like the verses. What are you talking about?
The verse is the general consensus. The general consensus for me is that Justin makes better music because more people enjoy it.
You can't say that.
Okay.
You can't say that because everybody that's heard Justin Timberlake definitely hasn't heard of Chris Brown.
You think
and vice versa?
You think people worship Michael Jackson because he made the best artistic songs, or because he was the biggest pop star?
Because he made the best songs. Yes, he did.
No.
Who made better songs than him? Nobody.
I'm sure guys like Prince. I don't fucking know. I'm sure there's better.
Gosh.
Are we staying in that genre?
Nobody made better songs than Michael Jackson. That's kind of period, actually. Like, nobody got better music than Michael Jackson.
Justin Timberlake.
Come on, dog. Come on,
Joe
dog.
Budden.
Justin Timberlake. I don't know, bro. Justin Timberlake is, I think, easily washes Chris Brown. I think Usher would be a little more competitive because Usher came out in like '91. But if we link in NSYNC's discography with Justin's, then he's got fucking 30 top 10 hits, and you don't care about views or top 10s. But
Dog, if it's a versus, everybody thought Dipset was gonna win because they had bigger songs.
they didn't play half the good songs. They didn't play half the good songs.
They just ain't hit.
They did fucking like Bird Walk and shit. Like nobody even knew them Jim Jones songs. Bro. They didn't even play them Jones.
Just like you thought Welcome to New York City would regularly beat New York with Ja Rule and Fat Joe, it didn't win. You would think it's gonna win, but when you play it against each other, nah, this shit different. We rocking with the Jadakiss drum. You would think Cam and Jewels and Jay-Z could beat Fat Joe, Ja Rule, and fucking Jada, but nah, not in the verses. Why? I don't know. It just ain't hit the same.
Is Jay-Z better than Nas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it hurts to say that, but yeah.
I was curious.
Nas pen crazy, but Hov is just too consistent. Like, it's just disgusting.
Hey, since we're talking about rap now, and good transition, and we're talking about your favorite rappers, how you feel about Wale being a bitch, though? I don't even want to say
it. Why is he that?
Why is Wale bitching again?
Why is it? Who said he was bitching?
No, you're not keeping up with this?
Because he asked to be up, he's not performing on the festival?
Yeah, and I don't. Why is he not?
Did you read a statement?
I read his tweets. I didn't understand them because he said it's about respect.
He didn't even agree to be booked for it. And he's on tour.
So they put him on the poster and didn't ask him to perform?
Somebody on his team, he said somebody on his team accepted for him. Mind you, he's already on tour. And by the way, he's been posting clips of his shows. That motherfucker can perform, man. You should go check out his Twitter. He had somebody propose last night at his show. That shit looked fire.
Yeah, I retract the being a bitch statement. I actually saw Wale perform at Firefly a few years ago, and it was probably the best performance of the day, maybe besides for T-Pain. But it was a really good performance, especially because he knew the crowd didn't know most of his songs. And he was like, crowd.
I never understood where this narrative come from that Wale be bitching or Wale's corny or whatever. And
he goes on the rants, like even like
not a rant though. He's literally just tweeting. He's not like fuck the label, fuck the Broccoli Fest, fuck that, I don't blah blah blah. He's literally just saying, nah, I'm just not performing.
Because he's doing the same fucking take that he's had for the last 10 years, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
I mean, obviously somebody give a fuck.
They keep disrespecting me, like they just not gonna give me the respect I deserve. Like, bro, if the motherfuckers don't respect you, like you have fans, you already have them. Like,
he knows that though.
So who the fuck does he want respect from?
His city. If you having a festival in my city, can I get the headline?
So I thought it wasn't about the headline.
Okay, I found this on the web for if you have a festival in my.
What you said? Siri popped up on my shit.
I thought it wasn't about the headline though. But that's the thing. So is it?
That's what it looked like. But I mean, even if it is he wrong?
When's the last time Wale had a top 40 song?
I think Angles was a top 40 song.
Yeah, it's
two Chris top Brown. 40. That's the most recent album.
He's had 2 top 40 songs in the last 10 years.
Okay.
What's the job of a festival? To sell
tickets? Any of those headliner? Dog, we talking about a festival in DC.
Yeah, but people not checking for Wale apparently. He's the one saying the city don't give him no respect
for Wale. He's doing sold out tour dates? I hate that shit. I hate that shit. People go these top 40s and all this bullshit.
And where is the respect? Where is the respect that he wants? I don't understand it. If he's got the sold out shows and all this respect in DC, why does he keep talking about respect?
He's not performing. Why is it such a big deal that he pulls off the show? Why can't he just not perform? Like, what's wrong with that? All right, I don't feel respected. I'm not gonna go.
So you think he agreed with the idea that he was gonna get?
He didn't agree. He didn't agree. If you read his tweets, he didn't agree. He said he was in Ghana at a wedding. His team booked it for him. He got the info. Was like, all right, I guess cool. Mind you, he is on tour right now. So there's really no incentive besides the bag to perform anyway, because you already on tour collecting the bag. So I mean, and like he said in one of his tweets, he was like, "I can't miss nothing that never happened." So it ain't like he really missing anything by pulling off the show.
Is it that Wale is just like overconfident in his, like, I don't want to say his ability because he is nice, but like he's like Wale's been continuously making money off rap for 15 years now. What more respect does he want?
I mean, I feel him though. I feel Wale. I mean, that's one of the few rappers I even post on IG. Like, I'll create a whole fucking clip surrounding a Wale verse because to me, he's literally top 5 when it comes to a pen that's relevant, consistently rapping right now. When it comes to the pen, he's top 5 to me. Why he don't get that, I don't know. But all his albums hit. He got one album I really don't like. That's it.
Which one is that?
Shine. The Shine album. That was just random. I was just like, all right, this is different. But yeah, other than that motherfucker consistent.
Let's hear it, Jake.
I was wondering, do you guys think that how vocal he is as a person is part of what hurts him? Even though it's really not that bad of it. I don't think it's that bad of a thing that he's that vocal. I just think that I was wondering what y'all think.
I mean, to me, the weird shit is anybody can be vocal, but for some reason he got this tag to where as though when he is, like Bill just said, oh, it's a rant or it's something like he's bitching, but he's speaking his mind on a platform that's meant to speak your mind. I don't like where else you supposed to do this. People want to ask you why you went off the show. He give you the reason, but that's called bitching. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I feel like people that ask for respect never get it. Like, motherfucker, if you gotta keep saying, yo, I need to be respected, I'm this, I'm that, I need to be respected, and I feel him because he's mad confident in himself and he puts out a good shit ton of music. But like, bro, you're not gonna get it, and that's not how you're gonna get it. If anything, you turn more people off because you seem like, from the outside looking in, it's looking like you have a very, very good career and artistic career, but it's still not enough. So now you seem ungrateful to the fans you do have and the success you've had. And like, I get wanting more, but like saying like, yo, I need this.
I've never looked at Wale as ungrateful, and I don't know anybody that's turned off by like. I've never heard somebody say, "Oh, Wale on Twitter bitching, I'm not listening to him no more."
I see that a lot.
Yeah, I have. I've heard that a lot.
What? Who even think that? That is a weird way of thinking. That is so weird of thinking. Like, oh, he's bitching on Twitter. I'm not gonna listen to him.
It doesn't matter if it's a weird way to think.
Okay, so what is Meek on Twitter doing?
People get turned off by Meek. They've been turned off by Meek on Twitter.
Stop listening to him?
Yeah, Meek's numbers are down. His listening numbers are down.
Gosh,
I think that's the same thing. And you guys may kill me for this, but Wale and Joe are kind of common in that area. Like Joe's definitely more over the top, but they have that same personality.
Don't put them in the same category.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wale make better music than Joe Budden.
I didn't say musically. I just said
you agree with that, Jake?
Huh?
You let him get that off? You agree with that?
I'm not even going to go there because it's a clear
No. I'll say this. Joe might be able to rap better than Wale. Might. But as far as making music, Wale definitely make way better music than Joe Budden.
I just mean vocally. Like, they're both really vocal, and it comes off. They talk so much that people start to feel like it's arrogance.
But Joe has one of the biggest podcasts out.
And he's also one of the most hated people in the music industry. Like,
he's also not a rapper anymore.
He's still thriving though.
But he's hated. Like, 2 out of 3 people on this podcast don't fuck with him. Like,
people hate to love Joe.
Dog, Joe Budden.
And I think that's a market, honestly.
And maybe
like, you're not about to listen to a Wale album and say this is trash. You might not listen at all, but to say it's trash or I'm not listening to him because he's saying I don't get the respect I deserve. Like like I said, I personally don't know anybody that said, "Oh, Wale bitching on Twitter. I'm not listening to him no more."
What was the False Prophet song about?
And did you hear his comeback? He said, "Far from a false prophet." He came right back at Cole. I hate when people bring that shit up.
He came back at Cole, but you're saying like Cole described a whole point of view that me and Jake are saying is a reality.
Okay, and he replied to his point of view and said, "I don't feel like that. This is how I feel."
Yeah, but you can have a rebuttal, but just J. Cole making a song in general is showing that people do have that point of view.
That's fine, but also Wale has one too.
But that's the
He
point.
did you listen to Wale's response?
Yeah, it was cool, but I'm like, I understand Wale's point of view on it, but I am
What's his
saying,
point of
like,
view?
to some people that he doesn't feel like a false prophet. I fucking get it. He's good. He's not ungrateful. He appreciates his fans. He's just saying he sees himself as a top tier artist and he should be respected as one. More power to him. All my point is that some people, like J. Cole and his little song, have the point of view and are turned off by it. Like, dog, you look ungrateful, and it looks like you don't fucking value the respect you get. Give more power to Wale. If he wants more respect and he's not happy with the amount he has, who the fuck am I to say you should be happy with the little respect you get? Even if the outside world looks like a giant amount of respect.
Yeah, his little song. That's always a nice diss. I agree with you. I think that what we're saying and what other people are saying, I don't disagree with Wale. I don't think he's wrong in what he's saying. I just think that other people have this perception. And I think both those things can be true at the same time. You can be right and other people can have a feeling or a thought about it.
Dude, I get it. The Broccoli Fest is a festival in DC, and fucking Philly wouldn't have a festival without Meek on it. Like, I get why I would be salty about it, but like, I don't know. Wale's Wale.
I don't know. He's one of my favorite rappers, regardless of what the fuck he's saying on Twitter. It ain't got nothing to do with the music. And I think people be too invested in people's lives to say, "Oh, I'm not listening to their music because of something they put on Twitter." That sounds insane to me.
Yeah, you guys listening to Freddie Gibbs the same stuff?
I haven't listened to Freddie. Well, he ain't really putting nothing out, so I haven't really. There's no reason really to listen to him. But the shit that do come on, it's not like I'm clicking through it.
I just wish that he didn't do the whole back and forth for DJ Academic so much.
So you think that's making him corny?
It's not making him corny to me. That's not making him corny to me. But I'm just like you don't gotta do that. You at the point where you don't even have to do that shit.
So would you, just to go back to the conversation we just had, would you stop listening to him because he keeps doing that shit?
No.
See, that's where the disconnect coming from. I don't understand the difference because he looked just as crazy as anybody else. Like, thought you going back and forth with DJ Academics that nobody takes
obviously
serious.
like Freddie Gibbs is different from me because I'm not a fringe Freddie Gibbs fan. I'm a faithful Freddie Gibbs fan.
But you're a fringe Wale fan.
Exactly. So that's.
But I'm a fringe Freddie Gibbs fan, but I'll still listen to Freddie Gibbs regardless of whether it's the act shit or the Jim Jones shit or accusations of him not being no tough guy. I don't care. Like, this motherfucking music fire. Why am I gonna stop listening to it because of
I didn't like
Twitter?
Jim Jones either. That shit was a hard pill to swallow too, dog. It's a lot of shit with Freddie. I'm like, man, just like play it how you used to play it, bro. Cause it's not even that. Like, the shit he's doing now is kind of making me look at him and Jeezy's beef a little different too. Like, maybe he was just doing all that beef with Jeezy back in the day to try and get some promo or like create some hype. Like, was that shit legit, or like do you clown around and joke with all the people you don't fuck with?
I mean, I can't call it. I just know Twitter not about to be my reason to stop listening to somebody.
I just know that you are not the majority in your opinion on Wale. So, like, that's just...
I mean, maybe I can't speak for everybody. I don't know how everybody feel about him, but
do you guys still feel the same about Benny?
Why wouldn't we? Why you say that?
I feel like and maybe it's because I listen to less music, but I feel different about Benny. I don't know if it's like
because he got shot.
I feel like that's a piece. I feel like maybe that's like 20%, but I also don't know if it's maybe like how much they've flooded his songs. Like, I can't keep up with it. Like, there's so much Griselda, so much Benny that I feel like it started to water it down for me.
Did you like the one he just put out with J. Cole?
The what?
The one he just did with J. Cole?
I haven't even heard it.
J. Cole called himself the best rapper alive, period.
That shit was hot.
On the Benny track?
Really?
He bodied that shit. Like, he washed Benny on his own shit. But Benny's still Benny, though. But Cole really was like, nah, I'm the best.
I haven't heard that. I gotta go listen to that.
Yeah,
It's probably mostly just I don't listen to music a lot anymore, but
Shit, if I was the Griselda Boys and I was like 38, 40, 42, and I finally got my break, I'd put out as much fucking music as possible too and milk my run.
yeah, I'm not mad at it.
funny thing is, he was just on Breakfast Club today. I watched it or listened to it today. I mean, he broke down the Houston shit, so I don't see how he takes a slight for that. Because that's like he said in this situation that could happen to anybody. Security ain't about to save you from that type of situation, so you gotta do what you gotta do. He ain't really, of course, he obviously didn't get too far into it, so who knows what happened to those guys? But yeah, I wouldn't call that a slight because you got robbed.
I like how he broke that shit down too, because Charlemagne asked his question that he always asks, and like he feels like he's being insightful. And I fuck with Charlemagne and how he interviews and whatnot. He's like, "All right, so like, how did that situation like affect how you move?" Like motherfuckers supposed to be like, "Oh, security up, blah blah," and he's like, "Dog, like, yeah, I move a little different. I got some more friends and shit, but like, you can't run away from those type situations, dog. Like, I'm going to fucking Walmart. I have 3 of my friends, and it just so happens some random guys walk down, pick one of my friends off. I run off, and then they run up and shoot. Like, you can't fucking live to be scared, dog. Like, what the fuck you want me to do? I'm already running with 2 guys going to Walmart."
Yeah, I never blamed or looked at anybody crazy for getting robbed, especially with a gun. Like,
yeah,
I mean, at that point, it's like, all right, you got this false narrative in your head, especially if you don't got nothing on you. Like, it's a false narrative to be like, oh, nah, I'm the tough guy. Okay, yeah, you might be able to smack the gun, get out of there, boom, boom, boom. You're going to get all the praise and, oh, you got away, like, you ain't let them get you, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes down, like, to, like, a damn XXX situation where they got a gun on him and he not moving and they shoot him and kill him, like, would you have rather seen Benny gets robbed and shot but survives, or Benny got shot at Walmart because he didn't want to give his jewels up?
And it's the same motherfuckers that always do that whole, like, oh, he should have smacked the gun and run. Be the same ones when motherfucker die in the robbery. Be like, oh, he should have just gave it up. Like, shut the fuck up, dog. These motherfucking rappers not Superman, dog. And it sounded like he did try to smack the gun and run off, and they just came around a circle.
That's the funny part. He actually did smack the gun, got away, and the second guy shoots him. And then he's on the ground and gets got. But it's like, I mean, he did everything you possibly could have done in that situation. So I definitely can't slight him for that. But as far as listening to him the same, y'all still got him up there. Like, I wouldn't say like he is top 5 to me, but I'm never mad at hearing Benny on a song, or I'm gonna always listen to a Benny album when that shit come out for sure.
Yeah, I always check the Benny Jones when they drop it. I like his flow. I just fuck with his flow and his beat selection. He's like Rick Ross. All those guys are kind of like Rick Ross to me. Like, I know they're gonna have solid beats and they're just gonna have a nice flow on it, so like I can just ride to it.
Yeah. Shout out to the Griselda gang.
Yeah, well, fucking Blocky, you can't get shot once without fucking giving you some slight. Jesus Christ. Fucking Superman over there. What is it? That was 20%. That was 20% of it. Well, goddamn, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This motherfucker raps about getting shot at and shit. He got hit and he's like, fuck.
I mean, when I hear you all day talking about catch me, whatever, it changes the view a little bit. Like, oh, like I thought you were invincible.
Shaming Benny the Butcher for getting shot with a whole bamboo living room behind him.
Right. This motherfucker at the Walmart outside of his city. Like, I don't know nobody out here.
Hey, I never said I was tough. I can have all the bamboo I want.
I feel you, bro. That's funny.
I could be sitting in Kleenex right now because I'm not. That's me.
No, I was mad. I was disappointed to hear Freddie Gibbs got went on by Jim Jones and them too. Like, I understand that too.
I'll say that's more disappointing than hearing about Denny.
Yeah, I was a little upset about that, but I don't know if it's true. But like, yeah, if it happened, like,
what happened?
He said Jim Jones and his posse, fucking jump Freddie Gibbs at Prime 112. That was a little disappointing to me because like, Freddie be talking in his raps, I'd be thinking like he would have pulled the strap out and let that shit go.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But even if you do got a strap and somebody come up behind you with a strap, like you can't just pull it out. They're gonna shoot you in the face.
Then don't tell me you're gonna do that for 36 songs in a row and have me rapping it as hard as I can in the car.
Fair enough. You censor your raps when you rap them?
Huh?
You censor your raps when you
Couple
rap?
words.
You don't let it fly.
So neither one of y'all never rap Trinidad James all gold.
No, that's too much, bro. Like that one's too much. The crazy shit is though, when that shit used to go off at the bars in college and shit, they was rapping that John word for word, bro. And I would always look around and catch like that because our school was white as fuck.
No.
So I'd always catch like look around the bar and catch like the 5 black people in the bar and be like, damn, this song about to come on and shit get crazy. And they just all go and you just see them like
Smoke at that point.
yeah, like oh my god, bro. Yeah, because Trinidad went crazy on that, John.
What y'all think Donda 2 gonna sound like with Future executive producing and shit? We supposed to get it the 22nd of this month. And supposedly Kanye said every song on it, he said he only wants songs on there that's gonna be played at birthdays, graduations, weddings, and funerals. That's the vibe he going for with this one.
So you're gonna be singing on him.
I don't know. It sounds like maybe happy music and some. I guess he said funerals too, so maybe a little sad shit. But
I like sad music. I hope he makes me depressed.
Oh shit!
John
said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, like that's if he drops that, I'm good.
You know, I'm skipping the depressed shit. I ain't got time, but yeah.
Make me sad. Make me sad, Kanye.
Yeah, I'm going with sad tracks too.
I love a good sad song, dog.
Like,
he sounds like he's got some good features, so like I'm interested to hear it. I didn't think the first album was bad for real. I played it for like a week or 2 weeks, so I thought it was good. So like I still got some optimism, and I love Kanye's production or old production. So like, but if he wants to get on there and sing some happy shit about some weddings or like being in love, I love songs like that too. And if he wants to sing about how he wants to off himself, I love shit like that too. So like, let's fucking have at it, Kanye. Hopefully, like. If I was Kanye, I would. If he wants to do his little concept album with Future, I would like start it off with the songs about how much he loved Kim K, and like how that shit started, and then like how depressed he got after the split, and then just take that trajectory from start to finish. Dog, I'm all in on that album.
You want to know the crazy part is when he described all that shit, they basically went back to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy at the time he was breaking up with Amber, and how great that shit came out. So they like, well. This one a little more serious. I mean, he was married. He got kids now.
Yep.
So we could get My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy on steroids with Future executive producing it. We might get the craziest shit we've ever heard, but that's definitely a high bar. But it's possible with
because Future's already low key depressed.
Yeah.
I got my motherfucking shrooms pack ready for Donna too, dog. I'm ready to go.
We might be getting some shit, man.
I'm ready to fucking go.
Speaking of being depressed, that transition, that shit was smooth.
Yeah, that was good, man. You should host a podcast or something.
Yeah. Sometimes I like hear things in life, and I just think like, wow, they are funding that person's future therapist, and like they're gonna get a new Peloton bike off of that statement. Like I heard of somebody say, stop doing that or I'll tell your dad you were crying.
That works.
I'll tell your dad you were crying? Like, that's insane.
That works.
I'm understanding why you're saying it's insane, but I'm also understanding why the parents said it too.
Like that kid's going to need therapy for like 100% with that type of product.
Or maybe he's gonna need a 6-pack every night. Who knows?
That's the same thing.
We can't call
it. So why would you call that? Why would you think that requires a therapist, that kind of statement?
Because like you're shaming somebody for crying, and then that means like you use their dad as a threat, and then you use like their emotions as a threat. So like. Your dad's gonna be mad at you and disappointed in you if you have sad emotions, like, and so using like, that as a tactic.
If you had to guess, what would you say the percentage of people would think that? I guess we could go to men. What percentage of the country you think, as a guess, obviously, what percentage of the country you think would be like, it's okay if you cry? Like, what percentage of the country you think thinks like that?
I don't think a lot. I think
And-
it's pretty minimal.
and that's a bad thing.
I don't label much as like good or bad. I think it's like hurtful.
Yeah, Flock, since you're a therapist and you know like what's right and wrong,
I'm perfect now.
I didn't mean it like that, but it came out like that. It sounded like a slight. So like since you know like what's mentally healthy or whatnot, so like if you're sad, do you just cry in front of people? Or are you still uncomfortable doing that?
Yeah, it's still uncomfortable.
But you know like it shouldn't be uncomfortable. So like if some bad shit happens and you're around a bunch of buddies, like are you just gonna start crying because like that's what you naturally should?
No, definitely not. But I also have a different perspective on being uncomfortable. Like, I think a lot of us, or people that I've met, I can't speak for the people that I haven't met, but people that I know, and including myself, we have this idea that being uncomfortable is bad when really it's like an inevitable part of the human experience. So like I try to make like discomfort not be labeled as bad, just like another thing that you go through. But that doesn't mean like I'll cry in front of my friends. Definitely not. But
Yeah, because
I try to be okay with being uncomfortable.
So
Like I was gonna cry to you guys after this, but
what do you cry? You cry in front of your girl?
I have, yeah.
That's not uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable.
You to do it, so it's still uncomfortable. John, you crying in front of your girl?
in past relationships I have,
Was it uncomfortable?
nah,
Hmm.
nah, because it was really emotion, so it wasn't really like uncomfortable. But like if I was bitching because I lost like a video game or something and I started crying, that would be crazy. But it was like real emotion, so I wasn't tripping.
He's so comfortable with himself. I hate it.
Wow, it's a real emotion. If I felt like I was bitching, I would probably look back like, damn, I was fucking bitching. But it was like real, so it didn't really bother me. Like it came from a real.
So like
If crying itself is comfortable, like while you're crying, you're like, this is so comfortable. Like,
is it? If if I'm crying, like even to myself, I'm like, yeah, stop fucking bitching, dog. Like you fucking bugging. Like, or I'll start geeking afterwards. Like halfway through, I'm like, yeah, I'm really pussy. Yeah, like what the fuck am I doing?
just
I think that's the thing with me is I am so like I guess quote unquote comfortable that if I'm gonna cry, I'm crying for a fucking reason. Like I ain't bitching. Like this, I'm really crying. This shit. Like I really got real. Like, it's a real emotion. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm crying, motherfucker. But if I'm not, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not about to cry over no dumb shit though.
So fuck. Does that mean you're less comfortable with your spouse?
I think it might mean that for me, it's still it's uncomfortable to cry. Like I feel like the reason I'm crying is because I'm upset about something, and being upset is uncomfortable by nature. Like if I were to cut my hand, right? This is a physical example of crying. I'm crying because my hand hurts, and pain is like not. I don't like love being in pain.
Some people, do. Pete Davidson does. Pete Davidson, he cuts his chest, dog.
I don't think he likes it.
And he said that's a release for him. He said if I can't get a tattoo, I just start cutting my chest. I don't fucking just be in a crib, fucking Kim Kardashian, just going fucking crazy, dog.
Just blood dripping over.
That shit is crazy, dog. I've never understood like I mean, that's a lot of shit I don't understand. I'm sure people don't understand about me. I never understood the cutting shit. That shit is interesting. So, Flock, are you uncomfortable crying because your mom used to threaten you by telling your dad that you were crying? Is that we bringing it full circle here?
Full circle. You made the connection.
Shit's crazy, dog. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever cry in front of anybody.
Really?
Yeah. Doubt it.
Have you cried in front of John?
No.
Has he? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Or been tearful? You've never been tearful in front of anybody. You've never kissed a girl.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say yes or no because I be forgetting shit. Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of nothing off the top of my head. No,
I don't think I have.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have.
I want to call Cat, but I can't remember like directly if it happened.
Why should they say, "Look, the Lord sends his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers"? You know. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, so what's your take on that? Like the fact that you haven't done that?
No, I just cried in front of people like 3 weeks ago. It was the first time that I wasn't uncomfortable because I was drunk as fuck. But it was pretty much because I was hammered, and I called Johnny out of the way to cry in front of Johnny, and then he called me the next day and checked in, and I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm fine.
Oh shit.
Feel great, bro. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like, nah, I remembered, but like, it wasn't like, it felt fine. It wasn't like that. I was kind of like, I was on a mission to purposely make myself sad. But sometimes I'd be like, yeah, I really don't like feel enough emotion sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, let me hurry up and try and make myself sad. And I called John. I was like, yeah, I'm getting sad, drunk like a motherfucker. So even though I was trying to make myself sad, I still had to get drunk to allow myself to be sad, which is fucked up in itself.
He was laughing while he said I'm drinking.
Yeah,
Sad.
and I was crying, laughing too. Like this shit's crazy, but yeah, here we are.
That was
Here we
fun.
are, man. I got sad drunk too, like a motherfucker. Good times. What do you?
Have you ever been sad drunk?
No, never.
I think maybe
neither.
one time.
I never went to the drink when I got sad either.
You never got sad after you got drunk. You guys never been drunk at funerals?
No.
Nah, that's the last thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Every funeral I've been to, like last fucking 4 years, I've been drunk at.
Yeah, after funerals, I kind of go ISO. Like,
I feel like the weirdo here.
yeah, I can isolate myself after funerals because that's some sad ass shit.
Well, you feel comfortable being sad around people, so you should be fine.
No, I feel like I could rephrase that in a way like
Mental
I'm not
gymnastics.
going. I definitely gotta be comfortable around the person to even let that emotion out. Like I'm not about to just cry in front of fucking anybody.
Nah,
But like, if it's somebody that I'm comfortable with, shit, fuck it. That's how I'm feeling right now.
any funeral I go to, I gotta ride solo and I have to leave solo. Like you can't do the little fucking pair. Because some people like to grieve together and do like the huddle shit. I'm cool. I'm straight. Like let me get my space and process this, and then I'll circle back.
Yeah,
And that like the whole like pick me up shit is really uncomfortable. Like leave me the fuck alone.
Pick what you mean.
The whole like, oh, like you did a good job, or like, oh, like everything will be all right, or like, oh, it sucks, give me a hug, and it's like, all right, yeah, like fuck away from me, stupid.
That's why I don't say none of that shit that I don't want to hear when it happened to me.
Like shut the fuck up.
I don't say none of this shit that I wouldn't want to hear when it happened to me.
It is crazy. This shit sucks, yo. Like so everything's gonna be all right. You're like, shut the fuck up, dog. Shut up. I don't mind when you hear that stupid shit. But that's just not. I'm sure some people. But the crazy shit is though, like I'm learning though, like some people do want to hear that shit though. Like some people do want the hug, and I be having to do that shit with some people too. Like give that fucking hug and be like, yeah, everything's gonna be all right. You don't need to worry about it. And I hate that. Like I hate receiving that shit so much. Like don't fucking say that shit to me. It's so stupid.
That's the thing. The hug can be appreciated, but leave it at the hug. I don't need to hear that everything's gonna be okay. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just picturing seeing Dylan really sad and like thinking to myself, I'm gonna go give him a real long hug.
I fuck with embraces, bro. I just don't like the words that come along with them.
We'll whisper in your ear.
Yeah, like that. Oh, like
love you, bro.
We're gonna get through this.
I love you, bro. On the whisper, crazy.
My man just did that to me too. He gave me a that hug and was like, "Yo, I love you, bro." And I was like, "Yeah."
So fucking awkward, dog.
I was like, "Yeah, like I'm not weird like that. Like I fucking like I love everybody. I got a good relationship with like most of my friends, and I'm like that shit don't really mean that much to say like I love you, bro, like whatever. But like I know like what it means for other people too. So like it always makes me a little uncomfortable like when motherfuckers do that shit. So I'm like, yeah, we're good looking.
What does it mean for other people?
Like a lot of people like hold a lot of weight for that shit because I know a lot of people don't have like a lot of like close relationships with people. So like I get it because like I know I have a lot of close friends. Like I have like, and even if it's not like necessarily like people I talk to every day, like I have a pretty deep connection with a lot of people. But like I know like most people on average don't have 15, 20 people they call and talk to for fucking hours, or know in depthly about their family history or like what their problems are with their wife, or like all this different type like shit that's like pretty serious. There might be some dark and some shit, or super happy and some shit. But I know most people don't have like abundance of that shit. So I know like if they're expressing that shit to me, I gotta like kind of like it's not the norm for them, so I gotta appreciate that.
So you almost like avoid intimacy by having lots of different intimate relationships.
We gonna do this, huh? I don't know, bro. Like I guess maybe I don't know. Wait, is that your take on it?
And I just don't want my takes to be framed as like this is me saying negative things. Like it's just
You're good. You're good, bro. Get it off today. I'll let you have it.
Well, I think if I am having an analogy in my mind of like spreading butter, like if I have it everywhere over a piece of bread, then it's not as like much when I bite through it. But if I like just put a big chunk of butter on one piece of bread and I bite through it, I'm like really gonna feel it and taste it. So if I like kind of spread it around, like it's not as heavy.
But if you got a giant stick of butter and you can put the same amount on everything,
you have more love.
I might just have more love, bro. More emphasis.
More jizz, so it's cool.
Shit.
Fucking pause, dog.
That's what you told me last week. Yeah, no, I just feel like maybe that's why I don't know if it's a negative thing. It could be a strength. Like maybe you have like lots of room for that.
Could be, or it could be avoiding intimacy in life. Who knows? I started drinking again, so there we go. Yeah.
Shit, man.
I didn't like it. Like I don't know where we go from that. Like, we continue the conversation, or like, you look so cool and like calm and collective over there. Like you just look like you're pondering.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of because this is a familiar space for me. So like a lot of times in therapy, there is like these silences where we think of something, sit with it. But I know that's not really like podcast entertaining for a podcast. So I don't know. That's all I had. That's all I had for that.
So I completely forget where I was at before that. Yeah.
I was wondering, I noticed that a lot of guys, including myself, like when we say like love you bro, it's never like I love you or it's like love you bro. It's like there's always like this like abbreviation or changing of the sentence, and maybe that's just the way that we talk. But I was wondering if that makes it less intimate to kind of say it in like a cooler way.
I think that's why it fucked me up. Because my man gave me that hug, and he said, "I love you, bro." Like it was a full joint. I was like, "Oh, yeah, love you too, bro. Good looking." Billy. Gilly. Now, I think I love you definitely seems a little less like different, I would say.
Seems less different.
I don't even know. Like now I'm thinking off the top of my head. Yeah, because like you're like hanging up. Like motherfuckers be saying like "love you, bro," or like a lot of my friends say that shit. Now I think about it, because I know Rennie said that shit every time I hang up. G used to do that shit all the time. Like, but I don't like. I don't be saying that shit to motherfuckers either. Though, now I think about it.
Do you say it, John?
It's gonna sound fucked up, but when people say it to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for most part, like we all got that feeling. I don't think dudes necessarily always express that shit though. Like, I mean, I guess like for the most part, you just like I guess would hope like your friends would know that. So sometimes it might come out, sometimes it won't. But for the most part, I think that's like one of the things with dudes in particular. Like that shit just one of those things where it's like what's understood don't need to be said. Like we know the relationship is what it is. If you verbalize it, I mean that's cool too, but I don't think like dudes are necessarily looking for that.
Do you think that's legit? Like what is understood doesn't need to be said?
It's funny both y'all said that, because I was gonna say like that's literally one of the terms I live by, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Like one of my buddies hit me with that years ago.
Though. Because you know when somebody really fuck, or you think you know when somebody really fucked with you, and then I think that's when a lot of people do get fucked up, is when they realize, damn, this person don't even really fuck with me like that. And I thought I fucked with them like this. So I think that's So maybe it does need to be said, maybe. But again, it's like you would think that the feeling is mutual on both sides. But when you find out it's not, I think that's when dudes may get a little emotional and be like, damn, this motherfucker don't even fuck with me like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe why some guys really shy away from saying that shit.
Because of the fear of the ultimate rejection of like finding out they don't feel the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I was going to make a joke like, I have the perfect opportunity to do a test run. I'm just never going to say it to Layla. And then I'm just going to be like, I don't need to say it. You already know. Just her whole life.
The crazy part about that is you will hear like girls or anybody really, not even just girls, but like people say, oh, my grandfather never told me they love me, or my dad never says it. Just shit like that. But I mean, you would hope, I guess the grandfather or the dad, but again, they from a different generation. I'm pretty sure all three of us will say it to our children and shit. But yeah, I think people from certain generations are raised a certain way just won't say that shit. For whatever reason.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
I think that I feel like it's similar to saying I'm sorry.
What's uncomfortable about I'm sorry?
I don't think a lot of people say I'm sorry or like
hell no.
Say it sincerely.
I'll say I'm sorry fucking 1,000 times before I'll say I love you for sure. But I will get second opinions on if I'm wrong before I say I'm sorry. I'm definitely getting second opinions on the whole situation.
All right, so think about it. When you was a child, how often did your parents tell you they were sorry?
One of them.
I feel like I get that more now as an adult than when I was a child.
More now as an adult?
Yeah.
From your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Your parents are you sorry?
No, because Floppy said some stupid shit real quiet.
I said one of them.
One of them. So you never heard I'm sorry from the other one?
Only in my dreams. Like
yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Have you heard I love you from that one?
Wow.
Yeah, I have heard it.
See what I'm saying? But sometimes they might not say that shit. But it goes to what's understood don't need to be said. I took care of you your whole life, blah, 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 blah. So they would feel like you already know that, and they might feel like I don't have to say it. Your mom plays that role, or your dad plays that role, or your grandma plays that role, or your aunt plays that role. So, I mean, for the most part, somebody always got that family member that's overly affectionate and overly gonna let you know how they feel about you. And then you might have another family member that just, hey, I hope you understand that I do, but I might not say it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're dead on. Because I would probably say it to every single one of my friends more frequently if I knew that they liked it. Because I try to take that into consideration too. Like if I know this friend doesn't like that, I'm not going to do that, you know? Like I try to not make it all about me, which I don't know if is right or wrong. But if I knew like it was going to be fine, I would probably say it a lot. Because I also think like with my parents, knowing the situation that my dad grew up in, where he was a provider from like the age of 12, him providing like financial stability and meals and a good house was love, but he didn't have that like privilege that I have to know that love can be more in something different, right? Because I didn't have to worry about those same things. For him, that's what it was, because he didn't have that.
Right.
It's almost like generational.
So he probably thinks you're bitching.
Yeah.
This motherfucker want me to tell him I love him and shit when I done pay for this fucking house and this motherfucking school and shit. Get the fuck out of here, pussy.
And then like without the shame, like I can see where he's coming from. It's levels, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I think so, yeah.
I mean,
I think we definitely all got those family members that might not say it, but you know that feeling is there.
Maybe. Yeah.
Pretty much a crapshoot over here. It's a bit of a toss-up.
So
No,
do
it
you
is.
resent the ones that don't say it? Or are you looking at them sideways? Like, all right, well, you've never told me this in my life. Like, I don't even know how to look at you. I think it's a difference when they show love through actions, and then okay, you might have somebody in your life, a friend or family member that don't show it through their actions and don't say it. I feel like that's like, all right, well, I see where
Yeah.
this is.
I'm like a big fucking big big into like I'm not getting upset with anybody for doing something or not doing something I didn't ask for these days.
Not doing something you didn't ask for. So if you didn't express it to them, then it's
Yeah,
not
like if I'm not telling you like yeah, like it kind of hurts my feelings. You never said I love you, or like you're not communicating this with me, and you're not doing it, but I didn't say it to you. I can't really be mad at you because like everybody's perspective on life is different. So like you could 100% feel like you've fully did everything in your power to do right by me. And I can feel like you 100% did nothing right by me. But if I don't tell you, who the fuck's to say who's in the right or who's in the wrong, or how the fuck are you supposed to know? So I don't hold on to that shit against nobody anymore.
So are you telling people more often?
Now I'm getting to that next step though, bro. You feel me? Now I don't even have no issues with nobody for real these days. I'm good with everything, and anybody I'm not good with, they can eat a dick and die. No cap. Everybody
Real
like
close to that next step.
Nah, I am getting close to this next step because like everything that's like fringe and whatnot, like I'm like, yeah, like I start like you either gonna accept it for what it is, or you're gonna try and better it, or like this shit's not worth trying to make better. And it is what it is. So like I don't know. But yeah, next step. I'm getting way more vulnerable in life and I'm way better at communicating and shit. I'm just advancing and growing out here, fuck. You know?
I love it.
I'm fucking 30.
Yeah, I think I definitely still err on the side of caution of expressing that need, because sometimes it doesn't work out and like feels like it makes things worse. Or
But wouldn't that feel better though if like the shit didn't work out? Like you like, damn, like well at least now I know they don't fuck with me.
I guess it depends on who it is.
I would much rather somebody say like, yeah, like I'd be like, yeah, you hurt my feelings, and they just be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. And I'd be like, all right, cool. This is dead. Nice to know.
Yeah, I
Unless
think
like you really want.
in the sense of like I probably won't even say you hurt my feelings, but if it's like if I don't get nothing from that, like okay, they hurt your feelings, and there is no apology, there hasn't been no previous mention of a good feeling towards me. It's like, oh, all right, I see where you stand. You don't even gotta say nothing. Like I'm gonna just read between the lines, basically, on that situation. Like, oh, you don't fuck with me, so I don't fuck with you just in return. It's not even I don't fuck with you. I just don't even care about you, honestly.
Eye for an eye, dog.
Basically, it's sound fucked up, but it's the truth. How I think I operate.
Yeah, because I don't fuck with nobody that don't fuck with me either.
Hell no, there's no point.
Can you guys really achieve that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody doesn't fuck with you, you can genuinely get to the place of not fucking with them.
Yes.
I'm not about to let a motherfucker that doesn't fuck with me
Ruin my day.
affect my emotional state.
But haven't they? If you change the way you feel about them, haven't they had the power already? Because
Yeah, but I think that shit is different too. Because once you get to that point, if I'm to that point where I need to express this shit, I'm either extremely frustrated, or I'm angry, or I'm a little upset. And I would much like if I'm at the point where we clarify that you don't fuck with me, then I'm more relieved than anything. Like, all right, cool. Now I know that this shit's dead. We can just move on from here. And there's mad people in the world. I don't need you to fuck with me, regardless of who you are.
Have you guys had people tell you they don't fuck with you?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I have enough forward conversations.
Yeah, I've had people tell me they don't.
And it's crazy because it's not even like people that like you would. It's not like a friend or nothing. It's just be like situations where you could just see the situation. Be like, man, what the fuck? I've been reading this shit all wrong. So you just, like I said, read between the lines. Like a lot of people will show you who the fuck they are without saying a damn word.
No, I've had people like literally say like I just don't enjoy being around you, and I was like, oh, bet, say less. Yeah, moving on.
You just gotta put them where they at. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Fuck no, Doug.
I don't see anything wrong with that either. I guess like because I haven't had that experience, the examples I was thinking of were different. Like there's people, and you know I won't go into specifics, but like Dill's known a couple of them, people that have not fucked with me, but
Joe.
I
Joe. No, I was just talking to Joe last week. Shout out to Joe. That's my man.
oh hit you up.
Yeah, thank God. You had to tell him. Tell him my little brother died for Joe to have me. I respect that. Yeah.
I gave him a little bit of heat.
Yeah, he's good, my man. He was nice about it. But yeah, good.
The people that have shown that they don't like me are people that I have also not liked. But I guess I haven't been in a scenario where somebody that I've liked. But I've always like, and I think maybe that's part of my insecurity where I'm always wondering, do people like me? Because maybe I haven't like flushed that out enough of like letting people be direct enough that I've tried to be friends with and like, you know, so I never got the negative confirmation, if that makes sense.
I was just talking to my other buddy about that shit too, and I'm like, yo, like me and John are being kind of blunt about it, but like in a lot of situations in life, it might not necessarily be like they fuck with you or they don't fuck with you. Like I was talking to my other buddy, and he's like, man, I keep inviting my one friend to come to the crib or to like their barbecues and the cookouts, and he's just not making the effort to hang out. And, like that's just kind of hurt my feelings and shit. I'm like, yeah, bro, like that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't fuck with you. Like he might just not fuck with those kind of experiences or want to put in that for that. So you gotta play that friend how it is. Like some people are phone friends. Like some motherfuckers is people you see once a year. Like that doesn't necessarily mean they don't fuck with you. It's like that's just is what it is. That type of shit don't like upset me though, motherfuckers. But I like if I am trying to hang out with you and put the effort into like see your family and shit, and you're not ever being receptive to it, I will stop inviting you, making that effort. Though.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that shit can be tough for me. I sent a message in a group chat that was always chatting, and it hadn't been chatting that day, and it was funny. I thought it was funny, and then nobody responded, and somebody else started a whole conversation. Like my shit went in, and then their shit went in and started the conversation, and nobody says shit about mine. And I'm not responding to that chat for like a month, so it's cool.
You think they're gonna notice?
Probably. It's gonna be manipulative.
Yeah, if I'm upset about the chats I'm in, I just leave them bitches. Take myself out of that shit. Like, yeah, all right. You want me back in? Add me. Because you know you can't jump back into it. Somebody got to add you. Like, yeah, show me you want me in this bitch. I'll fuck around with you.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah. Fuck, I really hope you can work through some of those issues, man. If you ever need a therapist, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to tell people, I tell all my friends, they're like, yeah, like, how's it being friends with the therapist and shit? I'm like, honestly, dude, like, a lot of it, like, comes from me, because, like, I used to just, like, fucking coach fuck up in college all the time, just come to me with these deep issues, and I would just kind of walk them through it, and, like, next thing you know, like, he's just taking my kind of progressions and theories and just utilizing them in his career. So, like, it's just something I'm proud of, honestly.
Nice. At least you're telling the truth.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, good deep dive on love.
Yeah.
Was that love or hate? I don't know.
A little bit of both.
Depends on who you're talking to, huh?
Do you guys ever feel like you can give her more inches if you get the right leverage?
That's
the right leverage?
Yeah. Like if you can get the right angle, like just kind of adjust a little bit, you might have some extra dick back here that way.
It's always an angles game right there. Though.
I don't want to answer, but
it's always an angles game. It's always an angles game.
Right? You playing the angles, aren't you?
You run into some shit and you're like, oh, God, I don't know where I got to go with this one. That's always the funny shit when you pull out like move 1, move 2, move 3, and you're like, all right, break the glass.
We just read the defense at the first 3 moves. You gotta read the D, and then
Read the D.
Pull out the fucking emergency glass stuff like that.
if you gotta pull out the emergency when you pull out the emergency one.
You pull out the emergency and still don't hit. You're like, damn.
That's crazy if your emergency don't hit. Yeah, you might as well just chalk it up. Your emergency don't hit.
Fuck the condom, bro.
You got to find them extra angles when she's pregnant.
Goodness gracious. Oh, the pregnant angle is different.
Fucking bet. That's mad uncomfortable.
Goodness.
Like, that shit is weird. Now, you had a wife that was pregnant twice. That's kind of weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. It's like, yeah, babies freak me the fuck out. Like, the whole pregnancy shit is weird to me. Like, that shit is gross, for real. Like, I know people think it's beautiful and, like, it's so cool women can, like, grow shit in their stomach, and that shit is nasty, though.
It's kind of crazy that girls, when they're having a boy, I do want to touch more on the angles, please, that they're growing a penis inside of them.
Damn.
You ever think about that? And testicles?
So you're kind of gay right now.
What's wrong with that? Why are you always making gay jokes?
You're a little gay right now, bro.
And semen?
I don't think that. Like, no, that's nasty.
I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy.
Dude, yeah.
Definitely a lot going on right there.
There's a lot going on with girls and babies and shit. That shit is crazy. I was thinking like, no, never mind.
The Never Mind King.
Never mind. Yeah, like, when you've been living how I live, as long as I've lived, you know how to self-censor. Right, Flock? Flock, when you was riding around Orlando with like a car full of white people listening to rap music, were all you guys letting the N-word off, or like was like everybody group censoring?
Why are you trying to paint that picture, bro?
I'm asking because I know how the music goes, and like I know I had my reasons to censor because I was always like it was a car full of black people for me, so I could never really get comfortable with it.
When did I ride around Orlando with a car full of white people?
When you was growing up with like Dane and Kyle and that crew.
Well, I guess a couple pieces.
Are you thrown off by the Orlando? I thought, don't you live by Orlando?
I did, yeah. But I didn't ever ride around Orlando with them. I don't know. For me, like, my friend group has changed. That friend group has changed and, like, lost a lot of people and adjusted who's in it. So I never really had, like, those going out experiences with that group of people. Because that was more, like, early life, like.
So you wasn't like 14, like riding around the wheel, like somebody had a car, or like an older brother or nothing?
No, everybody in my group was either the oldest sibling or an only child.
Okay, so you're walking around that group to the White Boy Wednesdays at the basketball court, and you guys are rapping along, and everybody just tell me you group censored it, bro. That's fine. We can move on.
Yeah, I think only Dane and I guess and Amber liked music, liked hip hop. I hope they censored it. I don't know.
I think Amber can get away with it.
You think they can get away with it? I mean, because they're not white. Dane and Amber aren't white, aren't Caucasian.
What's Dane? What's Dane?
Dane, I don't even know how to say it, but he's from Guam.
John, we got a ruling on that.
I don't know. I guess South Americans are cool. Shit, we was down there.
My Korean friend used to always get that off, and like I always wondered like how he got that off.
You asking the wrong person about the rules. All I know is just one race that can't say it. Honestly,
how dare they say we have white privilege?
Speaking of God forbid. Speaking of races, Whoopi Goldberg. This wasn't even on my topic list, but you just reminded me. So last week was the 77th anniversary of the liberation of concentration camps. And Whoopi Goldberg was on The View last week, and she kind of was saying, she wasn't saying anything crazy, but what she said was like that the Nazis and the Jew dilemma or debacle, or I don't want to underplay it, war, whatever the fuck it was, It wasn't a race issue because they were both white, and she's kind of getting canceled because of it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, she's wrong.
I don't know. I'll stay on the.
I think
I don't
you
know.
know.
I don't. I honestly don't. Because I mean, if you're asking a black person, I feel like we'll be like, yeah. I feel like I mean, you could school me. I'm always open to being informed, but do Jewish people consider themselves their own race?
Okay, I will school you because I just found this out today after
Let's
years
hear it.
and years and years of asking this question. Jewish people are a mix of both religion and it's an ancestry because they have genetic traits that are passed along. So they are technically a race and a religion, unless you're just converted Jewish.
Okay. As white people, do y'all say black people and Africans are a different race? Or black Americans and Africans? Do y'all say, oh nah, they
Guess I've
not the
never
same?
thought of that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Whoopi Goldberg maybe never thought of
I
that
don't
shit.
know, bro, because now I'm thinking about like if I'm describing somebody, fuck, I don't know.
I feel like you could tell a black American and an African apart.
That's what
Somebody
I'm
with
saying.
African
I'm describing
descent.
somebody and like if somebody's asking like if like how that girl is or what they are, like if she's a black girl, I'll say like yeah, it's a black girl, she's light skinned. But if she's African, I'll be like, nah, he married an African John. Like it kind of is a difference, I guess. Now I think about it, and you can tell a difference for the most part.
But are y'all classifying them as two different races?
No,
So
Like,
I've never said one race. I mean, I've never really thought about it, but I don't think I've been like, yeah, that's.
like if Black Americans pulled a genocide on Africans, I wouldn't say it was a racist issue.
that's all I'm saying. Like I think maybe Whoopi Goldberg might be ignorant to the situation, and I guess hopefully she's open to being informed on the situation. But
She already apologized.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was like it came from malice. She probably just thought the same way. Like how I just broke that down. Like people may say, "Oh, nah, they black." Like you're not about to say the African race. No offense to Jewish people if they feel offended, but I don't see like
I'm still calling Italians white.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
if that's right. Like I
The
don't know.
only time we even really call like white people from Europe different is when it comes to sports. Like
Yeah,
when people be like, "Oh, Dirk, white boy." Nah, he German, bro. He not white, but he's obviously white.
I think the thing here is that the race of being white isn't a real race, right? Like it's been created to be a race to justify racism, right? Like we didn't have the race of white people until we needed to legalize slavery.
I mean, you don't
I got
feel
so
me
many
if that's
racist
true.
topics. Because Whoopi came back and basically apologized, and her co-hosts are kind of pissed because they suspended her this week, and they're like, "Yeah, she already apologized. She said she was misinformed, blah blah." Because Whoopi came back and apologized and was like, "Yo, honestly, like looking back on it and getting educated on it, like I'm sorry, it was stupid. Obviously, Hitler. It's a race issue because Hitler was trying to exterminate the inferior race, in his words. So, like, obviously, it was a race issue." And she said sorry, but ABC and the network decided to give her a suspension. And like that's, I don't know. Like, is that corny? Like, is cancel culture too corny? Because like now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, yeah, like they're drawing. She already said sorry. Like, if it was something against black people, I'd probably feel differently. So I don't know.
I feel like, and I might be wrong, but I feel like when shit is against black people, I feel like people should quote unquote know better because it's so prevalent in our country. And when you're talking about an issue that didn't happen here, and I mean, we learn about it in school, but we don't learn probably to the extent that they learned about it over in Germany. But I don't think you can really be mad at her for not knowing that. The same way when Nick Cannon got in trouble, he didn't really know what the fuck he was saying. He said it, but it wasn't like a malicious intent. And I do think like when certain, not every white person says something quote unquote racist, but I feel like when they do know, they know what the fuck they saying. When you talking about Jewish and Nazis, like, okay, so what are Nazi like? Everybody that they didn't kill wasn't a Nazi. They was just German. So I don't. That's the part where it's like the little gray area. Like, all right, so what was the other people? What was their race?
I wonder if like people overseas view slavery the same way like Americans view the Holocaust. Like I feel like the Holocaust is like taught to us as like a really big fucking deal.
I think they took it more serious than America did slavery afterwards. They went to war because of that shit. And yeah, we went to the Civil War, but nobody else came there. Like, I mean, countries did come, like Mexico helped out, blah blah blah. The Haitians helped out,
But like
but it
as like
wasn't like to the extent of like we going to a world war over this shit.
But like as you grow up and like you think like yeah, like you hear about Hitler and like how they were doing the gas chambers and tattooing the serial numbers on their arms and like all that shit, like they really like we learned Hitler is like a really evil like fucking man, like almost like unspeakable to what they were doing to the Jewish people over there. And I wonder if like the Europeans look at us like, yeah, like America was doing some crazy shit to black people over there. I wonder if they have the same kind of like disgust when they look at us in our country.
I'm sure, because I mean, even with the examples you just gave, like black people were branded, black
That's
people
what
were
I'm
hung from
Very
trees.
similar
It
to
would
that.
be black people hanging from rows of trees into a town just to let you know black people aren't accepted there. So
And
I
it's
mean,
like
I guess
not
it's both ways.
that, and it's not that far apart as far as like year gaps from like when the Holocaust was going and from when slavery was.
Nah, it ain't. What about like
Probably like a century.
30-40 year difference around there?
It had to be a little bit more than that
Maybe.
because that was
It was World War. That was in the 40s.
Yeah.
And I mean, slavery probably really ended maybe around the 1918, the end of the 1800s. Like, what was the Emancipation Proclamation in the 60s, 1860s?
Yeah, so probably like 100-year gap, maybe less.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were still slaves after that shit, though.
Yeah, I'm sure there was.
Yeah, and then they did the whole thing where it said, "Oh, you're free, but then to work for me, you've got to pay me," and all that stuff. Like,
You can live here, I'll feed you, but yeah.
Or you could just go to jail because black people couldn't be out past 8, and if you're out, you're going to jail to do labor. So it's like the same shit. Shit was fucked up. Either way you look at it.
I honestly, and this may sound strange, but I feel like it kind of does both a disservice to compare it because it's like
1865.
There
what?
you go.
1865.
Okay.
Go ahead, Fuck.
Oh,
Disservice.
yeah. I just feel like it's kind of unfair to both to compare because they're just both really wrong in their own ways. Like maybe one didn't have concentration camps, but the other didn't have like, this is a fucked up way to say it, but like the slow burn of like, I'm gonna own you. Like that's different.
I wasn't trying to compare like the Holocaust to slavery. I was just more so comparing like how like I think like we still kind of look like down on Germany to this day. Like there's like a negative like thought process with it. Like, oh, that's where Hitler was at, and they was really wilding, and like even the world like altogether kind of shames them. Like over there like looks down upon them, and I'm just curious if like that side of the world has the same kind of shame affiliated with our country.
I know I feel worse about us because we didn't own it. Like Germany made it public in their schools to say this was horrible, we did wrong, we're condemning this. Like they taught about it, and we haven't done that really. I mean, we've said like, oh, they, owned people, but that was the times, and that's how people did stuff.
And I don't think we really got the extent of it. Like we knew people were being hung, whipped, blah blah blah. But when you hear like people feeding babies to animals and just cutting penises off to demasculate men, like you hear that at a young age in school, you like, God, but we didn't hear that shit. You hear that shit afterwards when you do your own research. I think that's the interesting part about the next generation coming up, because when they do learn about it and they do go home and do research, like y'all not even really teaching us about this shit because they really got all the information with the internet.
They don't even want to teach that shit anymore.
Yeah, they hear you have all those parents saying, "Don't teach that to my young child." Your young kid is going home playing Call of Duty, blowing up Middle Eastern people all at night with their friends and joking about it. Like, don't
Right.
tell me they don't know what that is. Like,
And the crazy shit on some of the Call of Duties, they got the Americans versus Nazis. So it's like you doing the same shit.
yeah,
You're doing the same shit. It's interesting. Our country is the greatest, but at the same time, the most tone deaf sometimes too.
Not to transition on the race issue, but still a race issue. Can you like a certain demographic outside of your race without it being a fetish?
asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. No, I'm asking for me. I was having this argument earlier today, and like I was like basically describing. I was like, no, in high school, like I really used to try like go after pretty much light skinned girls. I would say probably most girls I dated have been like medium brown. But they were like, yeah, that's a fetish. And I was like, no, I don't think it is. And like they were like, basically anything accepted or anything that you like that's accepted outside of social norms as beauties is a fetish. And I was like, no, I don't agree.
Yeah, I think that might be a loose definition of fetish.
Like I never looked at people crazy for dating outside their race. I always understood the people that said, "Do that you should date inside your race," but I never looked at it like you have to do that. Like I never judged nobody for dating outside their race because I guess in the era we grew up, that shit was normal.
Yeah, I remember my uncle pulled me aside when I was like 17, 18. He was like, if you're going to really do this, you need to be prepared to fight. And I was like, dog, it's not 1975, dog. Nobody's going to run with me because I walked in with a fucking brown-skinned lady. Relax. Hype as shit. Chill. Speaking of
Florida.
Yeah, I mean, you guys suck.
That's why I moved.
Another racist issue. Brian Flores. You guys want to talk about that before we wrap up random thoughts?
We could do that.
Catch me up.
So the Miami Dolphins ex-coach who just come off 2 winning seasons with the Dolphins after they were absolutely shit got fired in the offseason this year. And then he was supposed to be like a hot commodity this year because all the players had good reviews. He turned that team around with a shit quarterback. And then I guess he went to go interview for the Giants. So more or less, he put a lawsuit on NFL basically saying they're racist this year or this week. And because he was going for an interview with the New York Giants for the head coaching job, but Bill Belichick accidentally texted him thinking he was a different Brian, congratulating him on getting the job. Basically saying, hey, I heard you're the guy. That's what's up. Good for you, buddy. Like, congrats. But he texted this guy 3 days before he even interviewed, which was proven that the Giants were only bringing him in to basically play the Rudy rule, which in the NFL I think you have to interview somebody that's minority every time you have an opening. And then in the lawsuit, it also said that he went to the Denver Broncos for a coaching position, and John Elway and the rest of the crew showed up an hour and a half late, super fucking hungover. So he's pretty much saying they're fucking racist. And on top of that, he said the Dolphins owner was offering him $1,000 for $100,000 for every loss that the team would lose because he wanted him to tank for Joe Burrow. Bombshell. What a guy. Are we shocked? No. Does anybody care? They act like they do today.
It's not a shot.
Not a shot.
Because it's been going on. I mean, you see the fucking Chiefs' success and how their offensive coordinator can't get a fucking interview, let alone a fucking job. He can't even get an interview on a fucking job. And to the point where you got to put in a rule to where as though you got to interview a minority is kind of insane. I don't know. Racist shit don't even shock me no more, especially when they got to do with billionaires, like people with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. It's just like, how do you think they got this shit? And I'm not saying all of them racist, but it just comes from a point of like, these people don't deal with black people, so why would they want them to run a part of their organization?
Yeah.
Sad situation.
It sounded like you had something, Flock, but I didn't want to cut you off.
I keep forgetting.
It was just crazy because like I'll let you think about this. But I was looking on Twitter and it was funny because the NFL was basically they released a statement, so there's no merit to the accusations, completely false, blah blah. And like I think it was Taylor Rooks or it might have been somebody else was like, it's absolutely hilarious that the NFL is saying they have no merit to these accusations when they literally have that rule in effect because nobody would interview minorities. Like there's obviously merit to these accusations. So they've had like that is nuts that they had to put a fucking rule in place because nobody that was black or Hispanic could get a fucking interview. Nobody. So
they're not even talking about jobs. They're talking about interviews.
that's crazy, dog. They wouldn't even interview him in a sport that's dominated by non-whites.
And then people will flip that and say, "Oh, that's the privilege that the minorities have that white people don't get. They get a rule.
They at least get the opportunity."
Like, how do you even make that connection to say that's a privilege to have a rule made that you must be interviewed? Like,
one black coach in the whole NFL.
And it's different. And that's the crazy part is the one black coach has to be so fucking good that you got to go 15 seasons and not have one losing season to have a fucking job.
Yep.
And that's Mike Tomlin. That's sad. But you can have a white coach have 3 shitty garbage seasons and still have a job. And it's not even looked that crazy. Like, oh no, he's rebuilding. Like it's rebuilding. But like Dill just said, Brian Flores 2 straight winning seasons and you get fired.
because he was too mean.
Bro, if a white coach went to the Miami Dolphins and turned that team around with 2 winning seasons, they would be throwing the fucking max coaching deal at him right now. They'd max that motherfucker out for life right now. Because if you're winning with Tua, he's a fucking bum. Max that shit out, dog.
Did you guys see the John Madden documentary?
I haven't watched it.
I do want to watch it though.
That dude was yelling. Dude was like not excited. Oh, everybody's great. Like, dude was angry, and that's how he was coaching. He was a yeller. But all of a sudden,
is that what they're saying? Flores is too much of an angry?
yeah, he was like too harsh, and he was mad about Tua, and that they picked him and all that stuff. And
yeah, so they're gonna paint him as the aggressive black man.
yeah,
makes sense. That's the fucking go-to, huh? So like he's too angry to get a coaching job, and that's why people don't like it. And Kaepernick wasn't accurate enough to be a quarterback, but that's like.
But he takes a team to the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
It's like crazy. You know?
One of 5 quarterbacks to ever take that team to the Super Bowl after 2 years in the league.
It's just like what the fuck are we doing here? You know, like motherfucking Nick Foles has 7 different starting roles with 7 different teams. And Kaepernick retires after fucking 20 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. What are we talking about? You know, like yeah, it's just like come on, yeah.
Dolphins kept picking up Chad fucking Henne.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick and motherfucking starts for a different team every year. He's like 42, you know, like what the fuck are we talking about, dog? No, I think it's nasty. NFL fucking stuff. NFL sucks. I did see this narrative going. You starting to second guess that Jay-Z partnership yet, John? Or
what Jay-Z partnership?
With the NFL?
No, why?
They were gonna because the whole basis of Jay-Z taking that was like, yeah, the NFL's gonna make some real progress and promise to change. And here we are, 2 years after the partnership, and this bombshell drops. Does he have to pull out of the partnership, or like?
No, that's the thing. I never understood that. I don't know where those narratives come from. I think that's why Jay-Z needs to be in the room. So when the NFL does come together, I don't think he's like on the board or anything in the NFL, but when that conversation does come up, Jay-Z should be a person you call and say, how should we handle this? And then Jay-Z probably gets on the phone with Brian Flores. Yo, what need to be done, bro? Like, what is it that you see is going on? Because it is crazy. You see somebody congratulating you 3 days before your interview, and you like, you sure this is for me?
Yeah.
I fucked up, Brian. Man, I'm so sorry. Like, okay. Nah. And I think that's why Jay-Z need to be in the room, because you could communicate with Jay-Z. Like, okay, well, we doing something wrong. We tried it 2-3 years ago. Tell us what need to be done. And maybe Jay-Z says, oh, y'all need hiring rules. Like, it needs to be what the league is like, what, 92% black, some crazy shit like that. Like, it needs to be a higher percentage of black. Like, why is there only one coach and that one black coach has to be super exceptional? It's insane.
But Jay-Z's obviously not in the room because their NFL's releasing fucking press statements. press
I mean,
releases right afterwards are stupid.
but that's the thing. The NFL is going to get the backlash just like they got with Colin. Because I mean, what they admit, 3-4 years later after the Colin situation, oh, we were wrong. Are they going to do that this time? They shouldn't, because, like I said, they got somebody in the room at this point, or they have somebody they could reach out to at the least. And I think that's why the NFL is so fucked up. They just don't have enough for as many black people as that are in the league, and for you to not have awareness of what the fuck is going on. Something got to change.
I don't even know, like, if it's Jay-Z's responsibility to fix the fucking NFL. If he wants to do his partnership and get some bread, more power to him.
It's not his responsibility, but the guy that Jay-Z has shown to be, I think he will take a stand on what the fuck is going on. I wouldn't be shocked if he put a statement out about, oh, I'm gonna talk to Goodell, or I'm gonna be in the room where I had a meeting and this was said. I wouldn't be shocked, because he put himself out there to even do that partnership. He didn't have to do that shit. He's trying to make shit better, so he did that shit on his own merit. So I don't think he wants to be looked at as the guy that's working with the racist league. He's gonna say, okay, well, this is why I'm here. I need to be in these rooms with y'all, because y'all fucking shit up.
I don't even know how you fix it. Like, do you, like, put it to, like, the players have 50% of the vote on who the next coach will be?
No, I think honestly it need to be from an ownership standpoint. Whereas though when teams are for sale, yo, that shit coming to us next time. Like, I think it need to be something like that. Like, y'all, we need, like, I mean, obviously the owner can decide who we want to sell the team to, I guess. But if we got the same amount of money, yo, swing that shit our way, because y'all fucking this shit up. Y'all not even hiring us. Let us get one team. It's not one black owner in the league, and there are people capable of doing that. I remember a couple years ago they was trying to buy the Panthers, a group of people, obviously, but they was trying to buy the Panthers and it didn't go their way. But I'm pretty sure the next team that's for sale is going a black person's way or a black group's way for sure. After shit like this.
Unrelated, but yeah, like, no, okay.
So we random thought on it?
Random thought. I'll start it off, because it's not a real random thought. Jake, how do you feel about Joe Biden saying that the next Supreme Court justice is definitely going to be a black woman?
Who said that? Joe Biden?
He said, I don't know who it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be a black woman, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it feels kind of weird, like some tokenism thing going on there of not choosing the person for who they are.
I just wish he would have kept that shit to himself, dog. Like, I feel him all the way. Like, yeah, he should. There should be some kind of representation. But, dog, don't make that statement, because now it looks stupid.
Yeah. Or at least break down why you're saying
why
that.
are people shocked, though? Didn't he say this on the debate? He said, I'm going to hire a black
Vice president?
No, for the Supreme
I think
Court.
that was the black president, John, because the Supreme Court person just, retired? I don't think the retirement was a plan.
When did they retire? A while back?
Just recently, right? That's why they're replacing him.
Oh, somebody just retired? Damn, I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah, that's why he said the next John, like, they're looking to replace them, but it's definitely going to be a black woman.
Who was it? Clarence Thomas or?
I'm not sure, honestly, bro. I just saw the soundbite and then I looked into it a little bit. Because, like, it sounded crazy. I knew exactly what he meant, but he doesn't deliver his points well. Or, like, I don't know if he doesn't, like, do his points well, or he just doesn't come off as relatable. And, like, I don't know, like, if his team's weird, but, like, I right off the rip knew how the hard conservatives were going to take that.
I just tried to Google to see who it was. And I don't know if it's true or not, but the Washington Post said Biden wants credit for nominating the first black woman to the Supreme Court. Here's the irony: as a senator, Biden warned President George W. Bush that if he nominated the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court, he would filibuster and kill her nomination.
Shout out to Biden, man.
Yeah, shout out to Biden. Changing his ways. Growth. Uncle Joe.
Justice Stephen Breyer retired.
Yep, so random thought. I just feel like Joe Biden is doing some okay stuff, but he might have the worst PR team in the history of fucking presidency.
I agree. I don't know why they aren't just knowing this election's coming up, that Trump's going to go in again, and they're not saying shit about it. Like, they need to be destroying his character for the next 2 years.
Why the fuck am I finding out about this disabled people's forgiveness plan from you? Why don't I know that?
Yeah.
Why do I not know that they've already forgiven $2.3 billion in student loans? Why don't I? Why am I having to go out of my way to like find this shit out? It just doesn't like. Why is fucking Shine on Drink Champs telling me about all the shit he's doing for Black America? It just like what the fuck? Like where is the fuck is your PR team at, bro?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so random thought. He needs to get a new fucking press secretary. Peace out.
I had a different random thought. I actually got this book today. Do you guys have those free libraries up there that people have outside their houses?
We
Oh
don't.
yep.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little like mailboxes and people like take a book, leave a book type jobs.
Yeah.
That's what you talking about, Jake?
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, whenever I go through a bike ride, I always ride it through the rich neighborhoods because they always have really good books for free. And so I got one
outside the houses.
Yeah.
I've seen them at. There's one at the Glasgow Park and there's one at one of the other hiking trails I go to. But I've never seen them in a neighborhood.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them in this one neighborhood, and I got this book about like it's titled "What You Should Know About the Companies That Really Run the World," and it like gives a breakdown of all the numbers of different companies. So I'm gonna bring that in next time. I forgot this time. I just got it today. My random thought is there's these two apps. One is called 5 Calls and one is called ResistBot. And basically you can go into them and you can select like an issue that's important to you. So it kind of has like all the different issues. So let's just I select workplace sexual harassment. It gives me a script for the bill that's been proposed, a button to select to call your representative at the House, Senate, or at the House or Senate. You select it, and then you can just press the button to call them, and you just read the script, and it tells you all the information to give. And the other one is where it does faxes, because supposedly faxes are more efficient than emails for the Senate. And it gives you like all the information, just like 2 clicks, and you can tell your people in Washington what to vote for. And I'm doing it. I think that's kind of dope. Like you can actually talk to them very easily nowadays.
It's
fire. You definitely got to drop them in the chat. I do remember when I was trying to get my passport and just speaking to the senators' reps, it was kind of fucking mind blowing because they really do pick the phone up and just be like, "Yeah, so what's the issue? Oh my gosh, we're gonna try to fix this for you." That shit is wild. That they're so easily accessible, but majority of the people really don't know that shit.
Yeah, and you don't know what to say. Like, what am I supposed to talk to them about?
Right.
Yeah, I'll send it in the chat.
Emailing with senators and shit. That shit is wild.
Do you put a book back in when you take a book?
So I don't always have a book on me, so I will later put a book in a different library.
You fucking just going around the rich neighborhoods taking all their books.
Hey, socialism. It is what it is.
True. That.
No, that's funny though. I do steal a lot of books.
Random thought: Tom Brady retired. Is he the greatest athlete of all time?
Yes.
Damn.
He did it with 2 teams, unlike Jordan.
LeBron did it with 3.
LeBron doesn't have enough chips.
How many does he need?
2 more.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. But yeah, Tom Brady retired. End of an era.
How many MVPs has LeBron had?
4. He should have about 6. Shit fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thinking, like, were y'all ever sad when y'all heard a player retired?
Yeah, Kobe.
Yeah.
Like legit sad. Like, damn, this shit fucked up.
I was like not upset. Like I wasn't upset because he was retiring. Because I was like you saw that last season, you were like, all right, it's time for him to hang this shit up. He's not gonna be able to bounce back from this Achilles issue. But I was really kind of upset. I was like, yeah, I've never saw Kobe play. The 2 Sixers games I went to, he sat out and he was injured. And I always wanted to fly. I always wanted to fly to Los Angeles and see a game, but apparently I'm fucking frugal and I'm pussy, so I pulled the trigger on that. But yeah, Kobe was probably the one for me. And Lamar Odom. because that was a tough retirement.
Yeah.
I was upset when T-Mac retired.
Yeah, I think I missed that because, again, like Dill said, it was injury, so it was just like he just ain't got it. So I wasn't really upset. That was my guy though.
T-Mac?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine you was down there with him and shit. So that shit was probably so fucking fire.
Man.
I almost wish well, I guess Kobe's that, but like Derek Jeter retiring was probably mad cool. If I was like a big baseball fan, that probably would have been sick.
Yeah, I was hot when like Chipper Jones retired. He was my guy, even though I probably don't like him now. But yeah, I could see Jeter.
Cal Ripken.
I went to his last game in Tampa.
Did you? That's dope.
Yeah,
He spoke to my middle school class at the Bob Carpenter Center.
that's why he got the Orioles hat on. Still to this day.
It changed my fucking life, dog. Changed my fucking life. Changed my life. Now, but I can't think of anybody else that like really was like. Honestly, though, now like at our age, like all of them are kind of getting to me a little bit.
Yeah, I just know I'm gonna be like, man, this shit. I probably won't watch basketball the next season after Brian retires.
Lady shit, I'm like, damn, yo, like,
it's not gonna be the same.
It's only Rodgers left, like really from like our era growing up now. So I'm like, damn, Brady and Ben are gone. Now it's like basically Aaron Rodgers, and I kind of throw Matt Ryan in there. I remember his rookie year, and then like as basketball players, we got Bron, we got Melo, Trevor Reese is hanging in there, but like Dwight Howard, like maybe he might be like the end of like me being a kid watching basketball. Like Dwight Howard probably came in 2004, so I was 13. So like he's like the very end, but like yeah, as these guys all retire, I'm like fuck yeah, we're getting old.
It's really not the same when they're not your childhood players. Like it's different.
Because like you're watching them play on screen, like they're very like imposing figures. Like you're like I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm looking at Dwight Howard who's 6'11", fucking chiseled, jumping over cars and shit. Like this motherfucker is literally Superman. Like this is like unattainable level of athleticism. And like that, it just hits different when you're a kid because like you still don't realize it's unattainable either. You're like, oh, I could eventually be 7 foot too. Like so, yeah, it's interesting.
The dunk contest used to be so live when like the players would sit on the side and like the lights would go down and like even in the games when I think it was NBA Live, like when they would have you do the dunk and they like slow it down like a light.
That shit was sick. The Jason Richardson dunk contest was so fucking sick, dog. I remember being at Big Dell's mom's house and just watching that shit like, holy shit, what the fuck did he just do?
That's the only reason I know who Desmond Mason is because of
Desmond Mason.
Desmond Mason. He was dunking some shit in that bitch too.
It was him versus it was them two just hammering everything. Remember fucking Fred Jones? He caught the shit way behind his ear. Like, where the fuck is Fred Jones at? But we know Fred Jones from the dunk contest.
Yeah, they had Birdman in that bitch. So that motherfucker had 17 attempts. He just couldn't land one. And he ended up getting
fucked up.
Yeah. Threw Daryl Armstrong in there.
Yeah, and like
he hit a layup.
That was crazy.
That shit. The great shit is too. After that podcast John told me to listen to, it's like the NBA players, like Chris Anderson and OJ Mayo got suspended for so long because these coke rules they had since like 1970s. That's why they got these 2-year, 3-year bans from fucking coke. But we say that shit. But the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon dunk contest were probably the best dunk contest ever.
That was the best one ever. When that motherfucker was spinning on the hoverboard, he got robbed.
Yeah. Both of them
we've never seen in our life.
Yeah, both of them were doing Zach LaVine fucking between the legs
and between the legs.
Come on, bro. Both of us is going crazy.
His first round was trash though.
Aaron Gordon should have got one of the dunk contests because I think they did 2.
Yeah, he should have got that one because Zach LaVine did the same exact dunk that Aaron Gordon did, except he just threw it in the air and caught it off the bounce. That motherfucker caught that shit off a spinning hoverboard. That was insane.
The hoverboard just dropped. Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
Songs of the week.
I'm
gonna play. I had something else. I was gonna play some Babyface Ray, but I'm gonna play Wale Groundhog's Day because the disrespect my man has been getting is ridiculous.
He ain't playing no motherfucking Chris Brown now or Usher.
No, we playing Groundhog Day. We shout out to Wale.
I know since I got my deal and this shit got real, I ain't been the easiest nigga to deal with. I'm heavily flawed. We're far from a false prophet. Honorable Philomena, Cassius Muhammad, McGregor Khan at his rap artist. Why you talking? Like my fucking Groundhog's Day. And I appreciate you for it. Yeah. The most highly underrated of my generation. Behind them cricket smiles, niggas neglect to embrace me. Respect is in order now. My liquor is more than yours. You throwing them little shots, we catching some cases. A lot of niggas hate to love me or they love to hate me. Labeled as reckless and crazy by my record label. Doctors say it's bipolar disorder. He diagnosed me wrong. It's obviously depressing, counting blue faces. Yeah, here go that real shit. Battle anxiety and privately them Percocet. Purchased like 30 of them, murder him in 30 hours. Wait, a word on my shoulders, I bet a military prep. I remember me and Cole went over for Hove. Every day a star's born, I guess I died in the womb. I ain't make it on blueprint, so made me a blueprint. You got you a nice watch, my minutes was finished. I was lost at Interscope, contemplating on copping the block from Benning Road. Thoughts of suicide, cause who gon' want you alive when niggas you used to ride with, cry with on that high shit, talking down on their interviews. I ain't forget that, Scott. Only difference is I ain't get no sympathy calls to get back up. I just heard a song about me on a hip-hop blog from a kid I know. Some niggas say a hip-hop god. It hit home, cause this some truth. This I know, this a psycho, like get psycho, but shit get dumb. Boy, when shit get dark, like Lorraine Powell, I've gotten married to a job. I drop my jewel, spit my bars, I get mine off. I be pissed off, shit get more props. So still I pimp hard, drink hard, liquor hard to forget my thoughts. Push 3 buttons, I make the jump spin ball roll. Yeah, I would say I'm the realest. Boy, yeah, most hated on Twitter. Word, yeah, not to cause a situation, but what side of my biracial friends call me they know. Forget it, I'm just tripping. And it's safe for us, the sun shines on Candlemas Day.
That's Wale, Groundhog Day.
What do you think, Jake?
Love it.
Best song ever?
Love that. All right, I'm going to go unpopular pick.
What's Joe Budden got for us?
My shit's froze.
I knocked 3 T's down from the little fucking buzz. At least a 5.
Having the open workout in heaven, trying to give you a good sweat. I'm Jay Mills looking up at the sky like, hey yo, Big, am I good yet?
You feel for the rhythm and the beats just keep calling you. They keep calling you.
Man, it's hard to understand me because my jaws keep blocking. My parents keep calling. The Lord keeps watching. I'm standing on the corner with my boys be boxing. And anywhere I go, all of these hoes be jocking. The dogs keep barking at the top dog. They already lost it, nigga. It's a lost cause. I remember when I had to pawn on my jewelry. Was so embarrassed by the help that no one offered to me. Zoning off the bottle. We only taught to fight it back. We only taught survival. Walking home, we just might scrap. All we did was write rap. Trying to get so drunk. Had to get my sight back. Product of the old gun. Made some bad decisions so early on in the process. I had people out to get me. My album wasn't even out yet. I'm talking about the self-proclaimed king in Detroit. I seen some people reaching their dreams. Some people destroyed. I seen people die at the hands of the violence of man. Seen people shot out the sky being fly as they can. Seen them split the pie up and Pam. Sniffing and tired 2 grams. Slipping out we in your crib tired your fam. Cause it's hard to really focus when you're trying to stack for ya. Lawyers with those in power trying to blackball ya. It's hard to find employees like accountants that's loyal. With those who told you they adore you, trying to backdoor you. You ain't on point though. 1 minute you popping trunks, next minute you happy man, next minute you sloppy drunk. Every January 1st of all keeps dropping, and I'm just celebrating it at the mall. We shopping, celebrating friendships. Bro this, cuz that, fam this, borrow that, love this, trust that. Comas after comas that were alcohol induced. If I ain't wake up from them, I won't have no job to do. When it's hard to understand me, cause my jaws keep locking, my parents keep calling, the Lord keeps watching. Now all I can do is we're talking money runs, using that money counter, getting rid of them funny ones. You know the ones too wrinkled to go in them slot machines. Throw them on the titty bar, flow to lower a thought esteem. You could be the hottest thing and still had a wrong team. Sometimes to see the bigger picture, you need a wider screen. I got the arm out the Black Beetle, beating the drum. Manic and challenging whole families, viva la drunk. It's nickel season, the fever's begun. I'm savage even though my tatter's a knife. I'm keeping it gun. Loaded cartridges, stolen cars with the low in hearts. Rip the game apart and you are not worthy like Wayne and Garth. Right now my life's so righteous I don't even sleep with groupies. I move like that nigga Spike Lee when he was Mookie. Back in high school I really clown. I said I'd do the right thing if Rosie let me ice cube them titties down. But this...
I love the rest of that verse, but I like that last part. It's funny to me.
I'm trying to hold my critique back because I know I'm about to put on some bullshit, but I don't know how the fuck you listen to that like shit. Like it's just
He snaps.
It's like me neither.
Like it's just like yo.
I don't get how though. I don't get how you don't understand that.
It's just like what the fuck is he talking about? Like I don't want to hear no Rosie O'Donnell bars, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Like it's just like
he was talking about real shit the whole time.
Now you know, like when somebody like you feel like somebody's talking and they're like using big words that are unnecessary. Like you feel like they're trying to make
because you don't understand it.
Like they're trying to make themselves like seem smarter than they are.
Insecurity. Okay, I got you.
But most of his songs makes it feel like he's trying to make himself seem like a better rapper than he is.
But see, I don't get that feel at all.
Cool. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and play my boy from Jacksonville. You're gonna love him. Slug It T. And you can save your critiques, Fox.
I never say anything about y'all shit.
Yeah, well, all my picks are great, but we gonna hear Slug It T.
All my youngins TTG and they go cuckoo. I'm a driller like a nail that they got loose screws. I'm gon' send them on the plane and they gon' catch two. All my youngins in the field and they gon' blitz you. All my youngins TTG and they go cuckoo. I'm a driller like a nail that they got loose screws. I'm gon' send them on the plane and they gon' catch two. All my youngins in the field and they gon' blitz you. We got Glocks, we got K's that go boom boom. Call me flash, I got hair like I'm Goku. In a flash with my mask, I'm gon' shoot you. All my youngins in the back and they gon' blow too. If it's pressure, let me know and don't be playing tag. I'm a devil to the street, that's why they call me tag. I got 40, maybe 50 sitting in my bag. So if it's pressure, that's a bet and I'm gon' strike your ass. In the morning, we gon' wait until he come outside. I got a youngin' that gon' smack and leave him traumatized. Heard his brother and his sister and his mama died. I said to hit, I swear to God, and I ain't asking twice. All my youngins TCG and they go cuckoo. I'm a driller like a nigga, they got loose screws. I'm gon' send them on the plane and they gon' catch two. All my youngins in the field and they gon' blitz you. All my youngins TCG and they go cuckoo. I'm a driller like a nigga, they got loose screws. I'm gon' send them on the plane and they gon' catch two. All my youngins in the field and they gon' blitz you. Heard a nigga talking crazy like he wants some pressure. Tommy struggle with that car to get that boy some metal. I'm in these streets, I'm never toting on that level rep. I got a Glock with 30 shots, man, this shit so better. Malibu, I most wanted in my fucking city. I got a Glock, but that's my bitch, cause she got big old titties. I'm on the block, I'm selling rock, you know I'm really with it. Call me Thomas, put that 50 drinking on the Henny. What you saying, yeah, you know I'm with it. Call him Tony with that chopper, he a fucking team. Can't forget about Lil Mookie, yeah, you know he with it. When we chill, it's for sure, it ain't no fucking miss. All my youngins TCG and they go cuckoo. I'm a driller.
Slug It T, man. Just instant classic, you know? Free Slug It T. Just got sentenced to 5. Nothing, Fluff? Got nothing. You got nothing, bro. You got nothing. That's crazy.
You ain't alone, Flock. I ain't got nothing for the sucker T either.
Yeah, Florida's got the worst swag. They really have to go out of their way to like incorporate like winter clothes. They have to wear their Scullies with shorts and shit. Like, it's so bad. Yeah. Anyway, great chat, boys. We really did some deep dives on vulnerability. But, all right.
Until next time.